Hiphoptictacticians of the world.
And we're back. Yeah! You're supposed to do that.
Back in the motherfucking house, kicking a straight gangster shit with a 9-1, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Growing up in the hood, yeah, boy, night.
Yeah, so he's not keeping it gangsta shit for the 9-1. It's for the 2025, 34 years later. He's got a track with my girl, Nat.
What's up?
Yeah.
Wow. That was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah, so you announce it.
Okay. Little backstory, I guess. And I think it was actually on the air. So we had Sikadime on the show last year, 2024. And we had a great conversation. I think all four of us actually. And he was telling us about, his thoughts about putting his work back onto vinyl and all that kind of good stuff and doing it himself and all this other kind of stuff. And talking about some different songs that he's thinking about pushing out. And I think our boy here, he was on one, Tic-Tactic. Put a verse on something.
Yes, I was. It's called Sikadime Radio.
I think that works. So that pretty much started the conversation between Sikadime and I. He had an idea, and he just reached out to me and said, I'm going to send you a beat. Just listen to it. Take your time. He didn't rush me, even though I think I took a little bit longer than I should have, to be quite honest. I didn't know who was going to be the collaborator on it. I thought it was just Sikadime and I. Lo and behold, once the file was received and I saw the name MC Eiht, I don't know what a sister could do. Like, I ran around my apartment like a jackass. I'll be quite honest.
I bet.
That song was just crazy from jump. As soon as you hear the beat, it's just ridiculous. And as soon as you hear his verse, you're like, come on, man. And then when you hear Sikadime's verse, you're like, for God's sakes. So I felt a little bit of pressure because I'm like, shit, these two are really awesome. I need to do something that's just as awesome. And he said he wanted something jazzy and he literally left it all up to me. Whatever I wanted to do. Came up with the chorus, the hook myself, all the ad-libs myself. Even helped him name the song. Not many artists will do that with you. It's either, can you sing me a hook and then go on about your business? Or they actually want to put some work and collaborate with you. So that's pretty much how this song came about. It was released last week, Friday. That would have been March 7th. Available on all platforms. And one of my good friends, she reached out to me because she was just as excited when she saw that it was being released. And when she heard it, shout out to Julia.
Hey, Julia.
She spent 2.5 hours on the phone with me, freaking out about how awesome this track was. It just makes you feel like, I don't know, it's just like a chill, laid-back vibe. West Coast style, I guess. Even though I'm an East Coast chick, always, forever, forevermore. But it doesn't matter. I could still encapsulate all of that good energy. And that's how we came up with Stylistic. Not bad.
And you recorded that yourself, correct?
Yes. Through many attempts. Many attempts. When one doesn't have a laptop, you have to become creative. So I'll have to give you a shout out for pleasantly providing me with the Scarlett Focusrite. And I already had my microphones, and then giving me that one little extra piece of information. Buy an adapter.
Oh, the Lightning, yes, the Lightning to USB, crucial.
That's right. Buy the Lightning adapter to USB. And then voila. It took some getting used to because I haven't really had to do anything like this in a long time. So using GarageBand on your friggin' iPhone and remembering to layer things and then muting other things so that your voice isn't melting into, oh my God.
I remember you had sent me a couple takes that seemed a little echoey and whatnot, but it goes to show you that if you use the tools that you have available to you, you can do anything really. Like you've got a song with MC8 that you recorded through your iPhone. What number?
13?
13.
At least it's
So
not
like
10.
4 years ago's model iPhone is, you recorded a song with MC8. That's freaking amazing.
Yeah. Shout out to my beautiful Sherbeta, what is it, 87? My phantom powered one. I can't do nothing without her.
What's her name again?
I can't remember the name I gave her. I feel like I called her Ella because
I thought it was Lucinda.
Oh shit!
Or is that like the bat from Breaking Bad? Not Breaking Bad. What's that show that people watch? The Walking Dead.
Yeah, Lucinda.
Or no, Lucinda might be Sikadime's car's name. What the hell?
Oh my heavens! But yes, very happy with the results of it, and appreciate everybody sending out their shout outs. It's really awesome. Puts a little bit of fire underneath your backside to do more. Much more. I think there's going to be another surprise coming. Somebody reached out to me today. Somebody who I was kind of wanting to approach, but I didn't know how to go about that properly. Because I really, really, really do love their style. We've had them on the show before.
Many times.
Yes, many, many times. We play their music all the time. And it's just interesting how that all happened today. And would you believe I already have something ready for it? And I only found out about it at 2:39 this afternoon.
2:39 this afternoon. Yeah. I love
it. I'm that pumped. When I heard it, I was like, oh, okay, give me what's the concept? I love it when you collaborate with somebody and they can actually give you a concept. They haven't put a verse to it or anything. It's just bare bone beat. And they give you an idea of what they're thinking. That makes it a lot easier for somebody like me who's just, I don't want to call myself, a singer. I just come in and help make things pretty. Give it more emotion or whatever. It's really awesome when somebody can actually give you a concept. That's how fast I was able to do this. Versus having to figure out what that person is saying in their rap lines.
Yeah.
I've been there before. Like, what they say? Oh, okay. Is that what? Oh. That's not what they meant. Oh, shit. Okay.
So I was going to ask you something, but then I decided to wait until we were on the air so that I could get the real story in real time.
Yeah.
All of your previously released work is under the name Licia T. And this one says Natalie Blake.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, tell us about that.
It felt like, I don't know many people that you really use as their government name. Like, Zach, I think you use your actual full name, right?
I mean, my full name is Zachary, but yeah, I use Zach Weston, yeah.
So your govy name, as my cousin would call it. I didn't really know if I really wanted to go down that road originally when we did Chances and Shine. I thought, you know what, let me just make up something. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't really in love with that name. Even though, yes, all of my works are registered under my government name. Mm-hmm. I figured it's an opportunity to rebrand myself.
Okay.
Just go with me. That's what I am. That's what it is. Here it is.
I like it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes, sir. Did you like how I did a little doing the music at the beginning?
Yeah, that's the first thing that you hear as the song starts. I love it. So you had sent it to me, and I was like, I wonder if he's going to leave that in there. Because, quite often you send tracks to people after you've done your part, and they take liberties. But thanks for leaving that in there, Tristan. That was really nice.
It was. I thought that was pretty cool. Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm under the DTM bucket. I don't care what anybody says. That's what it is. That's how I stay. Whatever happens after that, you and I can talk, and you're coming with me whatever happens. So that's how I feel about that.
So people watching on the YouTubes are probably wondering who's sitting beside me. People who go to live events, we outside. Anytime I'm outside, I'm with her. This is Isabel, and she's here to tell a story because I have a story to tell about probably the best show I've ever DJ'd. But before that happened, we had maybe the sloppiest load in ever. And this builds on our episode from about a month ago, which was titled I'm Getting Too Old to Carry Turntables Over Snowbanks. So what happened was February was a month of heavy irregular snowfall in our area. In fact, I've never seen that much snow in Toronto in my life.
It was horrible.
Compared to the past few years we've had in Canada, this has been insane.
Yeah. So from what I understand, the last time we had this much snow was 2008.
That sounds about right.
So there's Facebook groups for Peterborough and Oshawa that I belong to where people were bitching and moaning about the snow removal. And let me tell you, they have no business complaining about anything until they've seen Toronto, where there were piles of snow in the middle of major intersections still, sidewalks not cleared, and most certainly the parking lane on Bloor Street in front of Lee's Palace was not cleared. Therefore, it was a snowbank, waist high. And then at 4 p.m, when you're supposed to show up for sound check and load in, you're not going to stop traffic on Bloor Street.
It's going to be tough. I've done it in front of some other venues, not in front of Lee's Palace. That'd be tough.
Bloor Street, Toronto, 4 p.m, you can't just toss on the four ways. And so we pulled into an alley and a vehicle came behind us. So we pulled in farther and no snow removal whatsoever had taken place in that alley yet. And here's Isabel.
So I was under the impression that city parking lots that are related to businesses and apartments and things have to be cleared within a 24-hour time span of the final snow dropping, because that's how it is in Durham. But apparently Toronto doesn't live by the same rules that we do. So a car pulled in behind us and we shimmied a little bit further down to let the car in, because what I didn't know until after I'd been sitting there for a while is that little alley beside Lee's Palace is actually a stopping ground for skip the dishes drivers and delivery people. So there's people pulling in at the end of that laneway all the time to grab food, to grab deliveries, meet other people, whatever they're doing, they're grabbing and they're going. So that's what's happening. I didn't know it at the time. So then I decided to have this bright idea, because there's also a left turn to go out of the alley behind Lee's Palace. And it looked like we could do a 3-ish point-ish, 50 million point turn to sort of get ourselves turned back around and get back onto the street, until our car got stuck in the snow.
Oh no.
Jason, I believe his spirit was about broken.
That is correct.
We didn't know how he was going to get all of his stuff. And not only is it full of snow and we're stuck now, it's also really hard to walk in this snow, because underneath the snow is all ice. And everything's disgusting because it's Toronto and disgusting.
Yeah.
And wet and gross and cold. So Lee's Palace is closed. Everything's closed. The doors are locked. We're in the car with all the gear, turntables. What else did you have? A mixer? Did you have the mixer?
Yeah, so I had turntables, a mixer, backup controller, and laptop bag.
Yeah,
and
the usual carry.
We're having a conversation back and forth about how terrible this is, and I can slowly see Jason slipping out of reality. And I'm like, okay. But in my head, I know that he's like super excited for this show, and he is going to be really regretful and upset if he doesn't somehow get all of his stuff in there to do it. So I sort of had to be a little bossy and a little bit like kind of dumb. I did a dumb thing. I went into Lee's Palace when it was not locked, and I solicited help from somebody that was in there.
I don't know who that is either. I thought he worked for Moto, but I found out that who I thought he was ended up being somebody else. So I don't even know who helped us.
But thank you, because he brought a plank of wood outside and a shovel and tried to help us first dig the car out of its stuckness, which, by the way, didn't work. So he ended up helping Jason get his actual gear into the show, and I called CAA twice. I called CAA once, and the first time they informed me that if they send a tow truck, it will count as a work order. And I thought that meant I would have to pay for it, but then I hung up because I was frustrated and trying to get out of this icy pit that we were in. So I called back and they said, it's going to be a work order. And I was like, okay, but how much is it going to cost? And they said, oh, it'll be free because you have CAA. It's just that we have to count it as one of your services for the year. So I was like, well,
duh.
My car's stuck in an alley. I have photos of it. Like, it's stuck. I can show you how far we are from the road, what obstacles are in the way. So they said, okay, they put me on a list to wait, so I had to wait with the car. So Jason got his stuff into the venue so he could actually go to work and start the show.
Thanks to that random guy who doesn't work for Moto Live.
Yes, he saved us a little bit there.
Who I thought was Mike, but then I found out that Spark Houston is Mike. Anyway.
So this left us with an interesting conundrum, because now I couldn't go into the show because I had to sit with the car until CAA arrived, and this was like, what, 4:30, 5 o'clock?
Yeah.
So CAA has this fun little thing on their app that shows you where your driver is, except first, before that happens, you have to be connected with the driver. So I did not get connected with the driver for a long time, and my ETA for a driver was 6:21 p.m. from 4:30 in the winter outside.
I would have peed myself.
I was ready to. Yeah. So as I'm sitting in the car and I'm having these little adventures, like I'm just hanging out, looking around. There's a parking lot behind us that I'm really pissed off about because we should be in it. We should be in the parking lot that's been fucking plowed, but no, we're in a laneway covered in snow like Eskimos. So
Inuits.
Whatever. So then
we're on Trent Radio.
You can edit this.
No, I'm kidding.
I need to be edited and should never be put on speaker. So as I'm sitting in the car watching these people, like walk back and forth out of the parking lot. They're looking at me. I'm looking at them. I'm running the car because I'm freezing, my tits off. And then somebody comes into the parking lot behind me and honks at me.
Where are you going?
That's what I said. I'm like, where the fuck do you think I'm going? I'm buried in the snow. Like, what? And they're honking and honking. So this little old lovely man who must own the restaurant that's next to Lee's Palace was like, excuse me, she's stuck.
Thank you.
She's not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere.
So they backed back into the road. Then I'm sitting in the car for longer times, listening to my tunes, just minding my own business. And this woman, she's knocking at my window. Excuse me. So I open the door. She's like, are you stuck? I'm like, yeah. She's like, God, I'm really sorry. And then she walks away.
That's so
what?
So why are you knocking on my window if you don't have anything to offer to help?
You just came and knocked on my window to ask me if I was stuck, apologize, and then walk the fuck away. What the fuck, Toronto? What the fuck? I'll honestly, all 70 pounds of her soaking wet could not do anything with the car, but maybe I could have used her as a bump to back over. I don't know. So then finally,
actually no, she could have been the buffer between the Lexus, because that was the other problem.
Yes,
if there wasn't this Lexus that was parked back there that we were afraid of hitting, we could have really gunned it in reverse and probably got out of it.
Yeah, we probably could have.
So we could have used her as a shield between the Lexus.
Could have.
So then 6:21 comes by. There's no tow truck and there's no updates. 6:35, no updates. 7 o'clock, I'm starting tow truck wars. I'm calling other people. They're like, yeah, we can be there for $350. And I was like, I don't think so. I've already been sitting here. I'm committed to this sit now. call CAA, yell at them because there's been no update. So like, oh, your driver's on the way. He'll be there by 7:31. So like between 4:30 and 7:31, I'm living in the car in the winter, in the cold. He shows up and I think has a panic attack because sees exactly where I'm stuck and starts honking and stopping all Toronto traffic on Bloor Street, like honking his tow truck. He's like, stop, everybody stop, throwing his hands out, like he's in the middle of the road yelling. So he finally gets his tow truck to the back, hooks the car on the tow truck, pulls it out like just around the corner to get it back into the laneway to like back out, and then asks me if I would like to back it the rest of the way out. I'm like, dude, I'm stuck. Like, what part of there's so much snow here that I can't drive on it? Is nobody understanding?
Not all of
right
our
now.
wheels were touching the ground.
No.
We have a 4-wheel drive vehicle.
It was like spinning.
And I know how to push, and the guy who wasn't from Lee's Palace knows how to push. Like, there was too much snow.
There was too much snow. So this guy is like telling me to watch his tow truck because he has money in there. He's like, watch my truck while I do this. So
yeah, meanwhile, tow truck drivers are getting shot all over the place.
But I'm watching the truck. That's my job now.
I walked over and took his money.
You would have been safer with the rappers.
Probably. 100%. So I'm like watching this tow truck. He's doing his car thing. And then he wants me to step into Bloor Street to stop traffic for him.
Oh my God.
So that he can pull his tow truck out and get back out of the parking lot. So I was like, okay. So like now I'm in the middle of Bloor Street in Toronto, standing in front of cars, like waving. I'm like, no, stop. And they're like, people are looking at me and they're honking, and I'm like pointing at the tow truck, like trying to get him to come. So then he finally, I don't know how he did it, but it was like a miraculous and spectacular move because he pulled his tow truck out just perfectly and parked, and then he blocked the entire street for me so that I could back out and get my car out. You like saved the day, except for the fact that now I'm faced with the problem that we have 2 turntables and, you know, a microphone and everything else that we brought in there to load back into the car at the end of the show, but there's no parking.
Yeah.
Anyway, at this venue.
Yeah.
And because I don't know why, because there's snow everywhere.
Because Skyzoo was there.
Right.
And me.
So I parked the car on Spadina, which was the closest parking spot that I could find. Ubered myself back to Lee's Palace because fuck the winter, and I've been out in it long enough.
Oh, and then when she got there, the people didn't have the guest list information for her, so she had to pay to get in.
Man, no, that's a problem. That's a problem. Okay, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, made me pay to get in, so that was a good time. And then after the show was over, I had to Uber back to my car to drive the car back to the venue to block traffic yet again because there was no parking or anywhere, and I wasn't going to pull back into that lane.
Yeah, but it's easier to block traffic on Bloor Street at 1 a.m. than at 4 p.m.
Oh, for sure.
Easier. But yeah, so my adventure in Toronto, I don't think I'm ever going to, like, there's no artist I think I ever need to see in Toronto in the winter if it's been snowing. Like, I don't need to see you that badly. You'll come back. I don't ever need to do that again. Ever.
And if you die, you'll come back in hologram.
Correct.
This winter had me canceling a lot of stuff.
Anybody who went to that show that night, your DJ was there, you're welcome. I sat in a car and worked my ass off for you fuckers for like 6 hours, so
Shout out to Izzy. Shout out to Izzy. Ride or die.
It was rough out there.
Wow.
So yeah, that's the behind the scenes. It's not as glamorous as it looks.
No, that was horrific. I have more words, but I'd probably get in trouble for saying them on air.
It took me a while to shake what was happening outside, and I was texting her constantly to make sure that everything was like okay with her as it could be.
Yeah.
But I snapped back into it and realized that the people that paid to see Skyzoo listen to the exact same kind of music that I want to DJ.
Perfect.
And I knew that before I took the gig, which is why I did it.
Right.
And, you know, I had my hour before the openers went up, and I played all the songs that I like to listen to that aren't the ones that I even normally DJ at hip-hop shows, because this Skyzoo crowd was a special crowd of jazz nerds that are all. I was probably the youngest one there. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like a really good audience.
Yeah.
And something funny happened. So I DJ'd for everybody, including Skyzoo, which was like really cool because I remember seeing him on the AJ and Free days back on 106 and Park. Like, I've been watching this guy for like 23, 24 years, right? So I DJ'd for everybody except one person.
Who?
And Johnny Kabongo.
Okay.
I think I might have said that wrong, which sucks because I'm going to reach out to him to have him on the show too because he was really good.
Awesome.
So his DJ came up to me as I was setting up, and instead of introducing himself by name, said who he was DJing for and asked if he could use my stuff. And I was kind of reluctant. I don't know. And then Spark Houston, who I later found out, not even until the next day, was also Mike from Moto Live. I just knew him as Spark Houston that day, was on stage because I thought Mike was the guy that helped us in the alley. So he was on stage with us and mentioned something about his guest list, and the DJ said Shad was the only person on the guest list for him. And I kind of like perked up a bit, and he's like, "Oh yeah, he's Shad's tour DJ." I said, "Tilo?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "Oh man,
so cool.
I saw you at the Mod Club in the DMC Championships in 2007 with Scratch Bastard and Shub and like M Cuts." And so I'm like, "Yes, you can use my setup." So as we're setting up, he's like, "You got 2 laptops?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "What's the second one for?" I said, "That's for people who bring their performance tracks after the show starts, so that it doesn't mess up the main show laptop." And he kind of looked at me and he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Yeah, it happens."
Yeah.
Like, he DJs just for Shad and this other guy and probably people he rehearses with. He doesn't do the like opening for 10, like DJing for 10 openers kind of thing like I do all the time, right? And he seemed like mind blown that like people would bring their tracks to me after the show starts. And I said, I'll double down, man. One more. Somebody is going to walk across the stage during someone else's performance and hand me the memory stick and start talking to me while I'm trying to DJ. And he said, "No, that's not going to happen." I said, "Yeah, it will." I said, "I guarantee it will."
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the people that did that are the people that could have sent me their tracks way in advance because they're the people I have a relationship already. So My City Records are on stage. They're doing their second last song, and friggin' walking across the stage with their memory stick while the MCR guys are performing. And I was like, "See, Tilo, I told you."
Told ya.
And he's like, "Oh," and I was like, "Yeah, I already know them. They could have sent them to me days ago."
God love them.
Every show, without fail, it happens. So the openers were amazing. I don't remember them all by name. There was this one guy named Negative Q, though. His music was, again, like I said, that jazzy, grown folk type of stuff. And he came up to me 3 or 4 times throughout the night and complimented me on my song selection for like the in-between songs and the before and after. And I'd like to have him on the show as well, too. Yeah, the openers killed it. Tilo was great with Johnny K, we'll call him, and Shad came out and did a verse. So I got to go stand in the audience with Isabel for a bit and went to the bar and grabbed a drink while Tilo was up there. And I didn't know how long the set was going to be, so I went back to the side wings and I was just standing there. I looked up and Shad was standing beside me. And I didn't geek out or anything. I had a full conversation with him without being like, "Oh, I'm a big fan." You know, like, said, "Oh, thanks for being here." And he went out and he did a song with them, and then he came back and was standing for the rest. I said, "Oh, really good job out there." And he said, "It's way more pressure to do a verse on someone else's set."
Yeah.
Interesting.
I got a video of that verse that he did, and I sent it to you, and I think you'll agree he like nailed it.
He did. He did.
Yeah, then eventually, you know, the highlight of the night was DJing for Skyzoo.
Right.
And he did something that I've seen people do before, but I didn't know he would do it with his whole set.
What?
And I'm not trying to spill secrets out there or anything, but he had me knock the pitch adjustment up 3% on everything. So everything was like 2 to 3 beats per minute faster.
Oh.
Because he's got slower, jazzier stuff, right? So for it to translate, and Zach, that's probably like good for you for some of your slower stuff too, like just to make it hit harder live.
Some of it,
yeah. But yeah, like he, you know, his stuff that, you know, you would normally like kind of groove out to in the car, kind of bopping like this.
Yeah.
You take it from 90 beats to 93 beats per minute and put it in a live setting where you're on stage and getting people to call and respond. It becomes like a jam.
Damn.
I think I saw Nelly do that with a couple tracks recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nelly was on Drink Champs last week.
Lauren Hill speeds up her shit, right?
No. Just a little bump on the turntable to knock the speed up like 2-3 beats per minute.
Okay. That's right.
The audience probably didn't even notice, but it just like peps it up a bit.
Okay.
And then nobody got it on video from what I could see. And if anybody listening has it on video, please send it to me. I'll even send you money. At the end of his set, he said, for everybody to make some noise for the backbone of hip hop, because without him, this doesn't happen. The DJ, my man, Tick motherfucking Tactic.
Nice.
That's perfect.
Nice.
I have it as a memory, but I'd love to have it as a video or a sound clip. So if anyone has that, please send it.
I know, right? Yeah, we gotta find it. Somebody has to have it. Somebody.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then, afterwards, you know how with Shortcut a couple weeks ago, we talked about how bar owners will ask you to play longer afterwards? Well, it happened again. So Lee's Palace asked me to play till, I think, midnight or something. Maybe it was late. I don't know. They asked me to play like an extra hour or half hour or something. I don't know. I played longer. And then we went back to our hotel and we were both dead tired. So she works right beside where our hotel was. So it was like an easy commute in the morning.
Tomorrow it won't be.
I'm happy you didn't have to drive by like the same night. That would have been too much.
Yeah, I'm not too much into that anymore.
I would have cried.
I'm happy you didn't, because it wasn't safe that weekend. It was shitty.
If you can...
Well, and I had a show the next night. Skyzoo was supposed to be in Peterborough.
Oh yeah.
At the venue, but the online sales were pretty low, and I get that because for that niche lane of hip hop, like it needs to be in Toronto for that many people that like that specific type of music to come out. Like,
yeah.
In Peterborough, there's me and probably 4 people that would go to watch that.
Yeah.
So his online sales were crap, but the openers sold over 150 tickets. And we ended up having like 200 people out just with no real headliner. We had, I mean, the biggest openers became the headliners, Zilla and Donnie G, and we're gonna have Donnie G on the show in a few weeks.
Wow.
And let me tell you, I didn't know any of the artists that I DJ'd for that night. I had never met any of them, never heard any of their music.
Yeah.
And they were all so good.
They were ready.
They were all so good.
They were ready.
Yeah. And it was their fans in the audience.
That's how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Good job. Good job. You've had a crazy couple of weeks. Same with you, Busy. Holy smokes.
We've got some shows coming up too.
Oh yeah, tell us.
So April 5th at Bond Street Event Center, Underground Soul presents Nathan Skulls live.
Solo dolo? He's doing it by himself?
Yeah, he's headlining. And then Nico, who we had on the show a few weeks ago.
Right on.
has a set, and so does Zay's.
Right on.
So that's Bond Street Event Center, 44 Bond Street East, Oshawa, Ontario, 8 p.m. Free admission. Oh, and I'm DJing.
Of course. Of course.
And they plow their parking lot.
Oh, they plow the parking lot. And they're
We don't
hopefully
want
by
to know
April
that anyway.
5th, that's not a concern.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And then Zach, you want to tell them about April 18th?
Yeah.
The other day, my guy Robbie G hit me up. Big guy from the West Coast. He hit me up and was like, "Yo, we got the show in Kingston. I'm going back on tour in Ontario. Do you and your DJ want to come out and do that one?" And so I hit up Jason, and it's Good Friday, so he had to check with some family stuff and make sure it was all good. And then we were in the clear. So yeah, we're going out to Kingston. I think it's going to be a good time. We're at Overtime Sports Bar and Grill. The only time I've been there was when I opened for Afroman, and that was a great night. So I'm sure it'll be a good time. Cool venue, good sound.
Right on.
Sweet.
I'm looking
That's
forward to
And
it.
I've got some exciting news too. With that whole experience we had with the turntables and the previous experiences I've had with the super heavy, sometimes unreliable Rain 1 controller,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've switched up to a lighter controller that weighs 11 pounds.
Oh,
And unless people are coming to see a turntablism showcase, I'm not making my setup and teardown any more complicated than it needs to be.
I
what
agree.
did you get?
I got a Pioneer Rev 5.
Nice. I've seen those, of course. They're pretty popular.
Yeah.
Right on. Good for you. That was a good call on your part. I'm pretty sure Miss Thing back there had something to do with it too.
Yeah, I'm just getting used to mixing without motorized platters.
But it's good.
But yeah, the mixer section is like basically the same as an S9.
Okay.
Actually, it's more like an S7, but I have the S9, so it's close enough. The layout's good. The faders feel good. The jog wheels are the same as they put in their CDJs, and you can adjust the tension and stuff. I'm just trying to get used to it.
Right on. Cool.
But when I do get used to it, it's going to save my back and knees and CAA calls.
Oh my god.
But if we had that, we would have saw the Snowbanks when we got into town,
Yep.
parked at our hotel, and taken an Uber.
Yes. You would have if you had
Like
known.
this thing is still pretty big, but it's manageable and can be carried in one trip. You know what I mean? It's not like bringing the whole turntable setup.
Yeah. Right on. Well, good for you. Happy for the
So
change.
Zach, you can look forward to that easy load in and out on the 18th.
Hell yeah. That sounds good.
And I'm not helping him with his speakers. You can tell him that ahead of time because I don't need any death threats from bar owners thinking I'm stealing their shit.
They
Oh,
got
the little Hispanic lady that thought she was hard.
They got the PA. They got the PA at Overtime.
What do you mean thought she was hard? She was hard. Hey, I don't want no smoke, lady from Bell Pub.
Oh,
Like the
Natalie's
lady
the one
Michelle
that said
Rodriguez
she
from
thought she
Fast
was
and
hard.
Furious or some shit.
we don't mess with people from there.
Wow.
Some scary shit. Some scary bitches running around Belleville. Just saying.
We might see her on the way up.
If we have to stop for lunch or something, it probably won't be there.
If I feel like I'm at work, it's probably not a good scene.
True
That's all I'm
enough.
gonna say
True
is
enough.
if I'm counseling you outside of the bar, it's probably a bad scene.
Oh yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
Isabel came with me to a show in Belleville. I want to say, what was it? 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
No, 3 years ago. It was
Wow.
3 years ago.
Well,
Holy
that's
shit,
pretty
we've
good.
been together a while, babe. 3 years ago, she came with me to a show in Belleville, and I stopped the show because I was concerned for her safety because she was helping someone that was over the top drunk who goes to a lot. We'll probably see her.
I will hide.
We'll probably see her actually.
Respectfully.
Yeah,
I don't want to
we'll-
be at work.
there's a very high probability of seeing this person at the Kingston show. Actually,
Correct.
yeah, extremely high.
Correct.
I hope we do. This will be fun.
That's hilarious. So yeah, I know I wanted to try something.
Like you know how you can always pick out like at the start of the night, you can kind of make bets with people like who's going to be the drunkest person in the room.
Oh, I knew.
We've done that before, Isabel. We've done that before at some events.
Yes, we have.
We usually are pretty right on with.
I think girls know that. I think girls know which drunk girl's going to be in the bathroom telling them don't text that guy. He's not worth crying over. You look so pretty. We know which one it's going to be. You can pick them out at the beginning of the night.
So anyway, we'll report back after the April 18th show if that person was at the show and if she was the drunkest person in the room.
And it's Good Friday, so everything's closed. So there's nothing else to do out there. Everybody should be coming out because they'll be having like cabin fever by that point, maybe.
Hell yeah.
That's true. That's true. So, yo, Zach, you've been reading a lot lately, huh?
That's my whole thing.
Yeah?
That's all I do right now.
All right, so you said that you wanted to talk about some hip-hop biographies, man.
Yeah, well, Jason and I were talking about, like, Jason and I have been talking about reading for the past little while because it's just a common interest. And I recently got really into hip-hop biographies and was just telling him about some of them, and I brought up maybe talking about them on the show briefly, and he thought it was a good idea. So right now, I'm reading this one called From Pieces to Weight by 50 Cent. It's actually an autobiography, like it's written by 50 Cent. And it has nothing to do with his music career because like he didn't really start rapping until he was like 2021. This book pretty much takes place from when he was about 11 to 19, and it's just about his stories as a drug dealer and going in and out of jail, and you know all the things that came with that. So yeah,
put it up to the camera. I want to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't really know. Like I got I'm so Canadian. I got a Tim's card as my bookmark. Yeah. So that's what's going on with that. I don't really know what to say about these books other than just I don't know. I want more people to get into reading because I don't have anyone to talk to about reading with. Because yeah,
she's the main reader in my house.
I read everything.
So yeah.
You finished Mac Miller book recently, right?
Yeah, that was amazing. I got that on the shelf over there. Yep. In between getting the new biographies, I just got in and finishing that one, and I also just finished the RZA biography too. But yeah, the Mac Miller one was good. In between those, I read the recent Eminem one called Not Afraid. I forget the author, but yeah, that one was I've read it before. It's good. I feel like that one has a lot of trivial information that is kind of could be omitted, but whatever. The Mac Miller one and the RZA one were really, really good. The Mac Miller one, I learned a lot of really interesting stuff about like his addictions and just him as a person. Like, because the author, although Mac Miller's passed and couldn't interview Mac Miller directly, he was able to interview a lot of his close friends and his DJ and even his parents. So there was a lot of really, really interesting stuff in that one. And then the RZA one, there was a lot of really cool stories about the formation of Wu-Tang Clan, and also just he incorporated a lot of like Buddhism stories and like chess maneuvers in the chapters, which was really interesting. It's kind of all over the place, but it was good.
Okay.
Sweet.
Okay. Cool.
There's a book that I would loan you, except I loaned it to someone else and haven't got it back.
That's all good.
That I would strongly suggest. It's not a hip hop biography. It's a music biography though. It's called Q, the autobiography of Quincy Jones.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. I would love to read that.
It came out in 2002, I want to say.
I remember that.
And just to hear the stories of like, from the Depression and eating rats that him and his brother found by the side of the river that they brought to his grandma to cook, and the social rights movement, and taking basically taking jazz to Europe for a few years because America wasn't ready for
they weren't
mixed crowds.
No.
And working with Michael Jackson and then Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like just an incredible incredible story, and he died about a year ago now. We're coming up on almost a year since Quincy Jones died.
last year.
Yeah.
That one hurt.
Oh, speaking of that, it's been a friggin' hell of a week for R&B.
Honest to heavens. Roberta Flack, the fella from Tony,
Dwayne.
And
Is it Dwight or Dwayne?
And Roy Ayers.
Oh, and Angie Stone.
And actually today, it's not R&B or soul, but it's reggae. Coco T.
Oh, shit.
There's too many good ones leaving us. We're supposed to do something better. We got to do something.
We're getting old. So as we get older, the people that we die are going to be people that have impacted us more.
But it just makes me look at...
Like Roy Ayers
fuck.
Wasn't a young guy.
No, he was an older fella.
Roberta Flack wasn't young.
She was an older lady.
Angie Stone was tragic, car accident.
That was just unfortunate.
What happened with the guy from Tony? Is it Dwight or Dwayne? I feel like an asshole.
I feel like it's Dwayne.
Okay. What happened with him? I just saw that he passed and was like, damn, this is like a lot this week.
I think he was sick. I didn't want to...
Because he's not that old. Like, he's not that much older than us.
No, he's like... maybe like mid-50s?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Too young to die.
Yeah. I didn't want to dig into it because by the time we heard that, I was over everything. Over it. Man, can we name, like... I don't even know how we would be able to do this right off the bat. Roy Ayers, what sample out there, like what hip-hop artist has used that? Used any of his stuff?
Well, Dr. Dre.
What song?
Probably Let Me Ride if I had to guess, but in Straight Outta Compton, the movie, it shows Dr. Dre specifically with his headphones on listening to Everybody Loves the Sunshine.
Oh, that song. Sorry.
With his, like putting the record on and laying down with his headphones on. Everybody Loves the Sunshine. Yeah. We did an episode of all Roy Ayers songs on Hiphoptictactics a few years ago.
Yeah, we did. Should pull up that crate.
Let's try to find it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Repos. We didn't interview him.
No. We just appreciated his works.
We sure did.
Yes, yes. Oh, for those out there who are listening and are artists, I guess.
All the artists.
All the artists. I think you have to, if you are a part of Factor, I don't know if you guys know what that is, but just look it up online, Factor. It's for all the indie musicians and all that stuff out there. I think it's now until the end of the month or maybe mid-April, you can submit to have your works looked at and see what you're able to get for, what do you call it there? What do you call it? Grants. So like if you need to do music videos or you need to go into a heavy duty production place that costs you money and you ain't got it. Like those type of things. Factor. Check it out. If you're not signed up, sign up. It's worth your time if you're really interested in doing what you're doing. Because I know I got an email that said, I'm eligible for like 4 different things. And I'm like, I haven't put out anything in how long? I was so confused. But I forgot back in 2018 that I had signed up for Factor. And somehow I got this email last week that says, okay, you are eligible for music video stuff, production stuff, and traveling, like if you're going to go on tour, all those kind of things. So factor.ca, guys. It's worth your time to look at.
Do it.
Do it.
I'm curious, did they tell you, I guess we could talk about it off air.
Yeah,
We'll
sure.
talk about it off air.
Sure. Well, all right, man. I think we got enough chatter. I think we got some music to play, don't we?
Yeah, we do. we'll post in our thing what songs we play, and then might have a little mixy mix at the end.
Okay, I can dig it.
But it's sure been nice chatting with you guys. We recorded like 3 episodes in 1 week.
Yeah.
And we haven't done this in like a month, so it's been really nice to catch up with you guys.
Definitely.
Yeah, you as well.
Definitely. Zach, your hair is getting longer.
It's ridiculous. I gotta cut it. I gotta get my beard trimmed.
Your beard's on point though, man.
I gotta get it trimmed up, and I appreciate that. Thank you. But I do gotta get it trimmed up. It's been like 3 weeks now. I got it. They're both the hair and the beard are driving me nuts right now.
It's looking good though, brother. It's looking good.
He'll be on next week's call looking like Caillou.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Don't ball up yourself, please.
Morgan Caillou meme.
That's why I said it.
Oh jeez.
Really?
Well, all right, y'all.
You should listen to us next week at
Yes,
10
you should.
p.m. on
I'm not your
CFFF
mom.
Trend Radio 92.7 FM in Peterborough and around the rest of the world at trendradio.ca. You can catch our previous episodes on your favorite podcast app, YouTube, and at doingthemusic.com.
Yo, if you're gonna go to YouTube and watch our stuff, subscribe, like, comment. Come on, let's get them subscribers.
Yo, Still Mad has some haters.
Huh?
Does he?
Still Mad has some haters.
Does he?
Who has haters?
Still Mad.
I didn't see them.
Haters?
Yeah, we got a 33% approval rating on that one.
Okay. We gotta check that out.
Yeah.
But yes, come on, guys. Let's support the YouTube channel too. I mean, we do these videos for a reason. This was a first step for us, and I think we're doing pretty good. People are liking it, so let's push it. Subscribe, like, comment.
Oh yeah, comment. We don't have many comments.
No. You know who has a few comments? Dax.
Governor, maybe?
Dax.
Who's?
Dax's episode has a few comments.
Oh yes, it does.
And I think and his is one of the highest views that we've had.
It is.
And I think the other highest view was what's his name? Angel.
Governor.
Angel?
Yeah, Governor.
Yeah. And we didn't release part 2 yet, so can you imagine?
Yeah, we'll just sit on that one for
We
now.
will.
Until next week.
All right, guys. Have a good week. Stay blessed, man.
Peace.
Go hard in the paint.